Okay, so
Okay, hi everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, welcome to the channel, and we're excited to talk to you. That's for sure. I'll start out with reading your bio. Dean Stanton was born on a sunny Saturday in 1967 as an artist whose vibrant and whimsical creation have been captivating the planet Earth. They sure have. Graduating from the Alberta College of Art and Design in 1990, Dean embarked on a career as an illustrator, showcasing his talents in both 2- and 3-dimensional media. His diverse portfolio includes completed painting, illustration, sculptural projects with satisfied customers and clients spanning across Canada, England, Australia, the United States, Japan, and Germany. Dean is known for his innovative approach and is continually on the lookout for new and uniquely challenging projects to tackle. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted there for a sec. Welcome, Dean.
Today's the day.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming on.
Jennifer, J&J.
J&J, double Jen squared is what we kind of go by.
Dynamite works.
Yeah. 2 ladies running a men's named company. That's how we're distinguishing ourselves.
I don't know, Jen, that's awfully short-sighted. I mean, these days, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't hesitate naming her Boris. Or what? You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, if it works, great.
Set her up for the rest of her life,
Set her up for success. That's awesome. All right. So the reason we brought everybody together here is to really showcase you as an artist. We work with artists. We love working with artists, and you're fun to work with. We get a lot out of it. And what we really want to do with this interview is to tell people, like, if you're feeling like you want to be an artist, how do you go about doing that and making a living from that? That's really great, right? So first of all, how many years have you been creating?
Last count, it appears to be about, I try not to look at a calendar, but I think about 36 years.
36 years.
Yeah, full
That's
time.
Great.
It's it's been a wild ride, I have to say. I mean, if I may just digress for a second, it wasn't until I was about 36 years old, and I literally woke up one day and just was like, oh my God, I don't have a net. This is it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I didn't have a, and that's okay. I just was like, this is what you do. And it didn't occur to me that before then, so then 20 years later, I'm just like, whatever, man,
Yeah.
In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say.
Yeah. I think, after doing it for so many years, I mean, that's incredible. And you have a family, you have a son.
Yeah. Very tolerant.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, it seems like he's a really happy kid. So I think
some days we have money, some days we don't, and he rolls with the punches,
Yeah.
Yep, and that's okay.
Today we don't have to have Ichiban, He's like, but I want Ichiban. Okay.
So tell us about, why did you start creating? Like what was the inspiration? Was it a life event? You just tell us a bit about that.
No, just when I was in art school, I went to the Alberta College of Art back when it was called that, and I guess I majored, if that's the right term, in visual communications, but I really liked illustration, in all media, and I just kind of sorry, just to backtrack a bit. In high school, I was really adept at doing watercolor paintings, and also replicating photos with a pencil, like photo realism with a pencil. And I love that. But when I got into art school, I saw all these different things. I thought, well, that's great, but I wanted to just simplify everything, literally. So through illustration courses in my visual communications program, I was able to try different styles, and I simplified and simplified and simplified till I got down to this next style that I really liked. And literally, I just just the pure enjoyment of just putting down color. Like literally, that's where it came from. I just really enjoyed just the process of putting down colors and then separating it with a black outline, which is not a unique thematic direction, but for me it works really well. I find, and I do it because I like it. You know, I know that sounds so pat and strange, but you know, I'm glad people buy it. But if I was suddenly a millionaire tomorrow, I would just do my art and give it away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing about it is that you have such a unique style. Like I personally have Dean Stanton in my house. My family has Dean Stanton in their house.
You need one, let's face it.
Yeah. It's all over Calgary. So I think your creations are great. They're whimsical.
So recognizable.
Yes, it's very recognizable.
Well, thanks. And you know, I adore comparisons. I honestly do. Like, I mean, I mean, emulation. Well, you know, the quotes are out there, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, etc. But, you know, I definitely have my influences. It's funny because people, I think they recognize my art as being akin to like Keith Haring or,
yep.
I'm thinking of other artists, but I mean, definitely an influence when I was younger. But I've been lucky enough where people, without me interjecting, and I'm not opposed to comparisons. I think that's the way it goes. Like you can't. What I think Shakespeare said, "There's nothing new under the sun," right? Yeah. So I mean, emulation is just a state of fact or whatever. But I really enjoy like my influences have also come from other spots where people don't recognize or they don't know, and I think that's cool. So they say, "Oh, your art looks like this person or that person," and I go, "Thank you, that's so cool." But in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, but I stole a lot more from this person over here that you didn't mention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that? Anyway,
it's okay.
But so that's cool. And so, and my stuff's been unique enough to keep selling. You know, I'd like to sell more, but yes, it's been able to, like, you know, keep the lights on. So at least I've carved out enough of a niche to, you know, stand apart, I guess, from other from past artists, which is good. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your work can be seen around Calgary, all over Calgary. I know the other day I was walking down in Eau Claire and I noticed that there was a lot of your work on all of the boards on the outside there. Yeah, it was beautiful.
This construction hoarding, and thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks beautiful, and it, you know, it just adds to the environment so much because it's the color, right? The color, the happiness. I think, I don't know if you do this intentionally, but you move away from making people a specific color. Do you do that intentionally?
Well, I do, and thanks for noticing that. Actually, it's funny because only in select projects, like in commissions, for example, for families and stuff, unless specified, I make everybody a different color. And that's not meant to be some sort of like redefining a social paradigm or anything. I just kind of, it just makes more sense. And plus, to be honest, flesh tones are boring. Like, sorry, I mean, you know, not to diminish us all, but they're really, I mean, I just find them dull. You know, I just think it's just this awful pink color when translating, you know, to a canvas or a board.
Yeah.
So I try to use lighter tones versus brighter, like I use bright colors for everything else. And then I maybe use pastel versions of those colors for faces and hands and stuff. But I just find it's a little more interesting. So I've done pieces where it's been corrected. Somebody says, well, we don't want that. We make them all flesh color. Yeah. And so then I have no problem with that. I don't have, you know, I only have so much integrity.
Yeah.
But I'll change it up a little bit. Like I make, you know, 3 different skin tones, quote unquote, and then put them in. But I prefer to just, have purples and greens and blues and whatever. I try not to do like a mint green. That looks a little awful.
Well, mint green is cool too. I do love the color mint green. So
well, nobody's noticed. I just do a piece and I'm like, oh, you know, that looks a little stickly.
So talk about, is it mostly people in your art? Are you doing like animals or things? Do you go through bodies with themes? Like,
not
tell
really.
us a bit more about that.
And I mean, I really hate to disappoint anyone listening or watching, but I mean, I only put so much thought into it. I mean, it's almost like creating paintings with icons, animals, people, whatever. I'm not to diminish the process, but I do it as not as escapism, but I just want to just dive into something and it's just simple. It literally, I don't know. It's people can read stuff into it, and I think that's brilliant. And I can do very conceptual pieces, but I just really prefer just the sheer act of painting. And so I can put a bunch of colors, together, and it seems to spark joy. And I mean, I'm really moved by some of the emails I've gotten, like, years later, someone's like, my mom just died, and before she died, she loved this painting. She had it wrapped up, and it was one of mine. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
you know what I mean? And it's in storage, and I'm like, oh. So, and I thought that piece didn't have a particular theme or meaning. And sorry, I'm probably digressing, but just how could just throw a bunch of colors down, literally, and have somebody else go, "Wow, that kicks ass." You know what I mean? That's great. It wasn't meant to be a lot of thought,
Yes.
But I mean, I can do that too.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. Jen,
I have a question. Well, then you are interactive art, and then you jump, and that's kind of how Jen and Jen met. Web3 NFTs. We connected, got into this business process, and I've been dealing with musicians mainly, and Jen deals with art.
I see.
And so I'm just wondering, when did you jump into, we call them digital assets now, when you thought that, okay, this is another opportunity with my physical art?
Oh, I see. Well, and I got to be honest, thanks to Jen, I learned a lot about NFTs. That's what we're discussing, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yep.
I'm still, the world, life is a learning curve for me. I'm still learning about it. But to be honest, I don't put a lot of energy into stuff. I literally put on my pants and get the job done, whatever that job is that day, right?
That's awesome.
So NFTs, it's so funny because I'm still trying to explain it to myself, but I love it. I mean, the concept of it is mind-blowing. And I mean, you can see the market just flourishing. I wouldn't say it's exploding or expanding or contracting. It's doing what it's doing. But I mean, I definitely want to be a part of it. Not in a fear of missing out. Just, I think, I mean, 30 years ago, I accidentally was on the frontier of something here in Calgary. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was just making art. So I want to be, I want to roll with it,
Nice.
Sorry, that's vague, but
Why not be a part?
And I'm just like diving in. I just think, why not, And I mean, I don't mean to be so ambivalent about it, but,
And you're not the only artist. I mean, Jen, I was asking her, I was like, you did a piece with Sabette, and that's a huge, like connecting the two of you. I asked Jen, how did you set that up?
Well, look, Jen's a magician. I mean, I'm not even sure. And this Oscars approach, I'm not even sure what we're doing, to be honest. And I hate to sound so stupid, but I couldn't trust Jen more. You know what I mean? And I speak for many artists when I say, you roll, you go. Like, she knows our meetings are like, she's like, can I do this or that? And I'm like, like, give her, times 10. Go, do you want my signature? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm fairly trusting in general, but with Jen, it's just like, are you kidding? I've never had an agent, quote unquote. This one was on fire. I'm like, go. So,
thank you.
So no, always. And so NFTs, I'm like, I still don't quite understand it, but I know Jen, and I'm like, hey man, let's go. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Nothing.
The nice thing, well, the nice thing is, I mean, look, we've already sold some of your work.
Yeah.
And that is somebody in the United States, right?
I know.
Normally we wouldn't be going face to face with those people unless we would travel. COVID has allowed us to figure that out without the travel. So that's kind of a bonus, right?
When I've discussed NFTs, with other artists or just, my friends and stuff, they're like, so NFTs and blah blah blah, and then somebody goes, so have you sold it? And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
that's exactly right.
Right. Oh yeah,
Right?
like flying out the door. I you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's the thing, is that it opens the door.
Mhm.
I mean, right away, it's not just you're going to make millions. That's not going to happen right away. It takes time.
I tell you it right away.
Right away.
And it's educating people, and that's kind of what we're doing with the Oscars. We're bringing your work to demographic that probably, I'm going to say probably, is not familiar with NFTs, Web3. What is it? And we're coming.
No, this sounds like even Oscars and NFT in the same sentence. That's pretty groundbreaking, you know? Like,
well,
I'm not sure what capacity this will occur, but I mean, it sounds pretty exciting, you know?
Well, we don't ever use the word NFTs anymore, because there's kind of a stigma with the word NFTs. Even though that's what it is. It's the technology. Digital assets.
Oh,
we're saying digital assets.
Consider me educated. Digital assets.
Digital assets is what we're looking at now.
Is what I do.
Yeah, there you go. Right. And it is a thing. It's been a thing. Digital assets have been a thing for years and years and years. I mean, it just has. And I think that using the technology is a better way to even do things in a better degree, right? So that's what we're passionate about. Basically helping artists be seen, and really like showcasing you guys. You know, I personally love art. I love art. I am an art supporter. Arts are what keeps the world going around and keeps it happy, you know? So I'm a huge supporter of the arts.
It's super.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit? So we'll just focus a little bit on the Oscars event.
Okay.
So that's the Oscars Gifting Lounge. And so talk a bit about the two pieces that you created, kind of what they mean to you. And it basically, the theme was the human condition, which encompasses the defining characteristics and key elements of human life, such as birth, learning, emotion, aspiration, reason, morality, conflict, and death. Tell us a bit, how did you come up with your pieces? Tell us a bit about the subject of both of them and really get into it.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the two pieces right now. Now, these incorporate parts, I guess, I don't want to say standardized elements that I use in other pieces. However, I mean, I like what I like.
Yep.
That said, I'm looking at the two pieces. I don't know. I guess the first one I'm looking at is the center figure has a sort of a pink crown. I mean, this I think, no, I don't think, I know it's cooperation, elevation, and I know the thematic elements you discuss with the thematic, not guidelines, but touch points or whatever. But you know, I took some of that, but of course, artistic license.
Absolutely.
Basically, cooperation, and mainly, I personally have a lot of faith in humankind. I think that there's some horrific stuff out there, but I think we're going to get our shit together soon enough. I mean, we don't have a choice, you know. Especially, I mean, it seems strange to say, especially now. I mean, times have been tough for everybody. Our great grandparents lived through wars, you know, and as we are, but different wars, you know. So, we don't have it tougher or less tough. We just have it differently. And so, but I really believe that it's going one direction. That's going to be, I don't know, just, it's going to take something pretty interesting to make us come together, but I think it's going to happen.
Fantastic. I love it. And looking at the two pieces right now, I see that in the corner and in different spots in both of the pieces is the earth, the water, the clouds. But it seems like the bodies of land are shaped somewhat like a human being. Was that intentional or?
No, that was not. And that's a great observation. They're meant to be, of course, super simplified for many reasons. But I mean, also land masses are closer together than in actuality.
Yeah.
But it's also the changing landscape, I mean, we're not, like, everything's in motion, in perpetuity. So
yeah.
I mean, that's reflected there, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I just love it. I love the use of all your color. I'm a huge fan, so I just really love it. Well, I wanted to like wrap it up a little bit. So
Okay.
I wanted to sort of say, what does your future look like? Do you have any plans? I
Right.
mean, we know that you're going to be creating some more work digitally available for people, but tell us a bit about other projects that you have on the go.
Well, thanks for asking. And so I guess what I'm most excited about is like, as you know, I really enjoy working with the public. So as my confidence is getting better, and as the process I'm developing has almost been perfected, like it's really killer at this point. In working with the public, so now I can send a kit anywhere in the world, and they just open it and paint it, and that's pretty cool. Now, many artists can do that, but I don't know. It's my jam. I just so enjoy it. But I really like to work with people, and so I want to make that a more controlled, slick, easy to access process.
Yep.
And it really, like, I'll do 3 free ones to get a paid one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just easy, and I just want to work with people and make my art, and it would it'd make my day to start to travel. I mean, I've done projects in the States and here, but I mean, I can go anywhere with this, and I need to just get a little more confidence and dive into it. That's really the issue. But
We're here to help you.
I want to, my future is basically I want to work more with citizens of our wonderful planet.
Yes, that's awesome. I think that's great. And I think you are inspiring for a lot of people. Like, I really do believe that you're very inspiring to me, to Jen, to like, to a lot of people. And I think, appreciate you coming on today and appreciating you taking the time to go through this interview. We love working with you. It is completely usable. Absolutely. It's great. It's not meant to be perfect. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to bring your story. Boris Walks Alone. For more stories and connect with these artists, reach out to us at info@boriswalksaloneart.com and subscribe for more inspiring stories.
And reach out to me if you need anything else for this. And
okay, we will. Absolutely. Actually, we may want a couple more pieces from you. We might be having more pieces from each artist that we do have. So